Record. All right, there we go. Hey, everybody, welcome. Happy Monday. Shelly gave me a complex that I say that, but I think it's just such habit. I've been doing it for 10 years. That's how I always start, but now I think of her every time. Hope you're having a great start to your week. It is spring break here, which it doesn't feel like it. It's actually kind of chilly for Florida, which means it's in the 50s and 60s, but also kind of dreary and gross. So kind of getting a slow start to spring break. I was so excited about not having an alarm set and then woke up an hour before my alarm normally even goes off. So story of my life, that's how it goes. We don't get to sleep in anymore, right? So, but excited that you were here. The last call for March. It's already the end of March, end of the first quarter of 2018. I remember my grandparents telling me that time speeds up the older you get. And they were most definitely right. I think that it is on fast forward for sure. We're heading into second quarter. April is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be all over the whole eastern side of the country. Most of April, I'm actually out of town the same amount of days that I am in town for some really exciting stuff, though, things that I'm going to be sharing, learning, courses on Facebook ads, how to use really maximize Facebook on both pages and groups. I'm going to be going through some SEO courses, site audit courses, stuff like that. So lots and lots of training, lots of exciting stuff that I am excited to share. And of course, that is when our Mother's Day gift guide will also be live as well. So that was a little bit of my motivation for getting it all written, because I will be learning and training and sharing all over the country in the month of April. But I will get that training schedule up April 16th, I will be in Virginia. I'm actually going to be leaving that Thursday and we'll leave the day after, but I'm going to be doing some fun stuff with Jen Cash Fitzgerald. We've all known her by two different names. She got married like I did. She got married last year. I got married year before, and I got married last year. So we both have our name saga going on, but she is the owner of the Client Angel, and she and I have become good friends, done a lot of work together over the course of the last year, and excited to be in the same place where we can talk to you guys. We did kind of a side-by-side webinar once, but we're going to be actually sitting next to each other. It's funny because it's the first time we will have met in person. She is one of my best business friends. You form those relationships with the people that you work with and on your team and stuff when you've never even laid eyes on each other besides online. It's neat to get to meet in person, so we're super excited about that. I think that's all the announcements. I think that's all going on. So today we're I don't want to say we're wrapping up the springtime sales series, because we're probably going to carry some over into April. It's all kind of making sure that we avoid that summer slump. Again, because we're heading into the second quarter already, we're going to turn around 2 more times, and it's going to be the summertime. And every single year, we have these people that are saying, oh my gosh, it's June, and it is just this barren wasteland with my business. How do I crank it up? How do I, get to my customers? How do I get sales? How do I get bookings? How do I do all these things? And the thing is you do that work now. You plant those seeds now. You make those contacts now so that they are blooming by the time the summer comes. And our business is always on a 90-day cycle, and we can say that, and we can be like, yeah, and Lindsay, I know I've heard you say that before, but you've really got to look. People that are doing really, really well right now, I wonder, well, yeah, because 90 days ago, we were in the throes of the holiday selling season, and everything was really exciting, and we were doing events, and we had stepped up our marketing game on Facebook and all these many things, and we're seeing the fruits of that now. And so we want to make sure, again, that we kind of keep up that momentum going forward so that we don't have that summer slump. One of the ways to do that is with vendor events. And there are 2 big times of the year where vendor events are really popular. One, of course, is the holidays, and the other is springtime. You have a lot of bridal events, women events. Make sure this isn't someone trying to get online. No. Career fair type things, like springtime, everybody kind of starts coming back to life. And so that's why I thought this would be a good time for that. So why do vendor events? I participated in at least 3 vendor events a year, every single year, but I did one that everybody thought I was crazy to do because you were not allowed to sell. Most people think of vendor events as this place that you sell. We were not allowed to sell any product at the booth. And it was my biggest vendor event of the year, and really kind of the follow-up, the work that I did, the contacts that I made would literally give me an entire year's worth of party just from that one event. It was very expensive, but of course was, again, very, very worth it. So vendor events are not just about selling. So I've gotten a couple questions that were like, well, we have one, but we're not allowed to sell anything. Don't let that scare you off, because that is only one element of a vendor event, is being able to actually sell there at your booth. Vendor events are a great opportunity to get your face in front of people again, whether it is new customers, existing customers, meet their friends, meet other vendors in your area, that kind of thing. You want to always be the person in your town that people think of when it comes to your company or even your product or industry. It's a lot of local brand recognition. It's kind of almost circuit. Like once you kind of get in, then everybody kind of thinks of you. And other small businesses, especially in these vendor events, especially with like the bridal shows and stuff like that, they all know each other. They all work together. With an event like a wedding, that is something that there's so many elements that go into it, from the wedding party to, flowers and food and catering and DJs and all that kind of good stuff. But every single one of us fits into that as well. We are one of those elements. That's why I love doing bridal shows. Was, again, if they got a DJ, who do you have doing your hair, your makeup, your, whatever? Who do you have doing your bachelorette party? Who do you have, doing your gifts for your bridal party? Who do you have that's going to be, making sure that all of those memories stay preserved for decades to come, like that kind of thing. It all of what we do fits into that. And those other vendors will help refer, and you can kind of refer back and forth, kind of like a community partner program, but even just on such a small level. Again, networking with those other vendors, you may meet them at a bridal expo, and they know that there's a women's expo coming up, next month or whatever, and kind of get you in on that circuit. You can, at some, sell products, and we will touch base on that. Most everything is going to let you book parties, and that was one of the biggest things for me with the vendor event, is that I would fill my calendar for the entire year. Now, I did bridal events, again, because then everybody's getting married at all different times of the year. I want to know when you're getting married, because I'm going to send you an anniversary card too. And that is where that Party Bank, which if you have not downloaded that yet, be sure you check out the blog, because that's now for free download. But so you keep those parties going, and you keep that calendar full by booking parties at those events. And then, of course, the element always is finding those new team members. I had a lot of people who did not know we existed until they got to that vendor event. And then it was, oh my gosh, I've wanted to do something like this. And I actually had people who signed up like almost sight unseen, like right there at the vendor event. It was pretty cool. All right, so what kind of event is best? I want you to think about all of the different people, all of the different opportunities, all of the different events that you can have a hook for. So again, I know, Cindy, you do the scrapbooking and stuff and paper crafts. So a bridal expo would be fantastic for you, because from start to finish, whether you're helping them with invitations, I did my own save the date with products that are like yours and stuff. So from start to finish, that could be something. Again, jewelry ladies, skincare ladies, hair care ladies, bachelorette party type stuff. We literally fit into everybody. The ladies that do handbags, I gave, customized bags to my girls that were helping me with the party and stuff like that. So, we literally fit in everywhere. But what else can you fit into a women's expo, a career expo? There was one recently that was, it was pet related, but they had vendors for everybody. You just kind of had to, figure out how you could fit in with that. And so there was a lady that did really, really well, who was an Avon lady. And one of the things, they have a great sun care line. And even though it was for the humans, she did really well putting that together. The gift basket was like a sun care line with like doggy treats and a doggy leash and stuff like that. And the whole thing was making sure that you are protecting your skin while you're playing with your baby outside, kind of thing. And I really applauded her creativity on how you take something like that and make it to us. You do have to kind of think out of the box. But the truth of the matter is, if you are creative like that and coming up with stuff, and check Pinterest, because goodness knows Pinterest has a bazillion ideas, you can really find just about anything that you fit into well. Then how do you find them? So by the time most of these events are actually advertising, their vendors are locked up. So you have to find them way ahead of time. So check out your local Chamber of Commerce event. If you have a local civic center, ours is called the Pensacola Bay Center, they have their events long scheduled out. I can see what's going on in 2019 already. We have a Visit Pensacola. Everything has, Visit Orlando, Visit Nashville, Visit whatever. Check and see if there is something like that is close to you that have these big event listings, because they should also give you who to talk to as well. And then dial it back and go a little bit smaller as well. Churches, a lot of churches have springtime events, local community centers, that type of thing. Don't think that just because it is small, it can't still be hugely lucrative for your business. In fact, sometimes the smaller ones can be even more so, because you can really build on those relationships and really make those close contacts. So you just have to do a little bit of homework. Also, check Facebook events. Again, sometimes by the time they have hit that level of advertising, the vendors are already locked up. But you can look ahead and see, if there's something coming as well. And then also asking other friends of yours that are vendors, hey, do you have anything coming up? What are you participating in this year? That's why having local Diva Success Sisters is always so important, is so that you guys can kind of network and work together in that way. So the questions to ask. So let's say that you find this big list of them and you're like, I don't know which ones you want to do. So don't be afraid to ask questions to the people that are coordinating. That's, it's doing your homework. I have people that say, I went and it just wasn't what I expected. It is so much better to know exactly what you are walking into so that you can be prepared. So if it's the first time holding an event, ask them that and say, how are you advertising this? How many people are expected to attend? What has been your budget for kind of getting the word out? What is your goal for the amount of people you want to attend? If it's not their first event, then ask, how did previous years go? What were other vendor events feedback on it? Those type of things. Those are okay questions to ask. Those are responsible questions to ask. If you were buying a car, you would want to know how it drove, right? So the same thing is true. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. Ask if you're allowed to have duplicate vendors. Most don't, but some do, and you want to be prepared if you're going to be next to the same person, that has the exact same product as you. Ask if they have electricity, Wi-Fi. Is there the ability to get to a sink? If you're in the skincare, you may need to be able to have, wet naps or something along those lines. Like, be fully prepared. Do they have Wi-Fi so that maybe you can have an opportunity video playing, that type of thing. And then, of course, can you sell from the booth? Again, if the answer is no to that, that is okay. And really, to be honest, I think when you aren't selling, it kind of makes it a little bit easier, because you're getting to spend more time on those relationships. There's not a lot of competition, so to speak, going on, because again, if you're at a vendor booth that's got 50 other vendors, they're only going to spend so much, right? So I think sometimes it's even better to participate in the ones that don't have that direct sale, because again, then you can build the relationship, and the fortune is in the follow-up we'll talk about in just a few minutes. All right, I gotta speed up. All right, so the price, how do you overcome the price? Oh goodness, it won't let me go back. Oh, technology, here we go. All right, so overcoming the price. If you are doing a very, very large event, you're going to need more than one person. This is if you do not have a local team, maybe reach out and see, are there other leaders in your area? Are there other consultants in your area that you can split it with? Make sure that you do all of the contract negotiations, so to speak, before the event. So if you're splitting it, how are you splitting the leads? How are you splitting the bookings? If you're going to sell, how are you splitting the sales? That type of thing. I would not suggest making it like a cutthroat, you only get who you talk to type of thing, because you don't want to have any kind of tension or competition within your own booth. But overcoming the price, and also make sure that you're willing to put the work in to get the price back. And this is the hard part. If you are not going to do the follow-up, because that's really where the big reward comes from. If you're not going to do the follow-up, then that's when you really worry about the price. If it's a $500 event and you're not allowed to sell at the event, how are you going to make that $500 worth your while? It's going to be from the bookings. It's going to be from the follow-up. It's going to be from those relationships. But again, it's going to be after the event. But it's okay to split it up. Just make sure that all of that conversation happens ahead of time. All right? Because also, the price is not just what it costs to get in the door. It is also what it's going to cost for you to be there. Remember, we're planting seeds, especially if you're not selling. Or even if you are, you want to get a seed into as many people's pocket as you possibly can to plant. And then you also want to get their information so that you can do that follow-up. So having business cards, brochures, samples, postcards. I would use Vistaprint and collect stuff kind of all year long so that I had plenty for these events, because one of the events that I did, it was almost $1,000 to be there, but there would be 10,000 people in the place. I wanted to get as many people something that had my name on it as possible. And so, 10,000 business cards, that's pretty pricey. But if you kind of stockpile them, again, with the intention of giving them out, that will significantly help. So we have an entire gardening gallery on the site. I think I put some pictures in here. Yeah, it does not have to be stuff that breaks the bank. These were just some cute ones that I found. This was, and there is a training on the site for how to fold a gift bag out of your old order forms. I thought this one was cute, the little, keep me on file. These are candy bar wrappers. We also have those in the template library, seed wrappers. And then it can be just something as simple as these little bags. There's some chocolates, candies, and a little sample in there. You want to keep it economical so that as many people as possible can get, again, that seed that you are planting, but you also want it to be memorable. Just simply a business card all by itself is probably going to get, lost in the shuffle. Now you can turn that business card into a scratch-off card, maybe to give it a little bit of extra oomph, or a coupon or something along those lines, but you want to have kind of that lasting impression. Okay. Your display matters. Make sure that what you set up, it does not have to be hugely expensive. I really like this Jamberry one. It is simple, it is clean, and this is one of those trifold boards. They're all over now because kids are in school, and this will last forever. It's very easy to carry because it's very lightweight. Scentsy, these little boxes, the crates are fantastic. And I love how Latoya here, she's got height. It's inviting. One of the questions that you want to ask is, can I bring balloons? Some locations will not let you have balloons at all. I had spent a whole bunch of money on balloons, and they were like, sorry, you can't have those in here. It had something to do with the rafters or anyway. But spend some time on the display because this is going to be people's first impression. Now, if you are with an adult company, make sure that you keep all of your very mild stuff on the table. If you are with a company that has jewelry that is, maybe expensive, you want to be, mindful of what you put out. We like to think that nobody will, get sticky fingers or whatever. But just, again, be mindful. You're going to be there and present and watching your display at all times. So, but you want it to be inviting. Don't overcrowd your table. And part of the reason why you don't want to overcrowd your table at a vendor event is the same as the reason why you don't want to overcrowd it at a party. If it looks overwhelming, if it looks like, oh my gosh, how do I have to know all this stuff or carry all this stuff or whatever. Remember, our end goal is always to have somebody want to join our team and do what it is that we do. So if it looks overwhelming, if it looks like a lot to carry or remember or whatever, then you may turn people off from the business. That's what I love about this Jamberry. This was very simple. That's very easy to do. They look like coffee mugs. Just very easy, very clean, and very inviting. That one's very well done. So when you set up your booth, make sure that you are not looking just from your side. Go, take a look, step into their shoes. What looks good? What doesn't? Is it overwhelming? Is it frightening? Is it inviting? Does it really kind of draw you to it? If you did not know anything about your product, your company, your anything, would it be something that would make people want to walk up and would make people want to see more? So you need to, I think so often we kind of get caught up in our side of it that, we don't always think of it from the customer's point of view. Yesterday, I attended an event. It was really funny. I attended an event that was all hairdressers and me. And I thought it was really funny because they thought I was a hairdresser too, but I wasn't. And what was really interesting is I was listening to the hairdresser side. They called it behind the chair. And I said, I've only ever been in the chair. So it was a whole new experience to be behind the chair. And I think that as consultants, we do, and even leaders, whatever, we do that a lot too, where we're not thinking about the person who's attending our party or the person who is attending that vendor event or the person who is answering the phone that we call. We're so caught up in what it is that we're saying. We have to sometimes remember what it's like, being again on that other side. So come around the booth, take a look. Did you make it easy to sign up for a raffle? Did you make it easy for them to find whatever seed they want to pick up or you're going to hand them or whatever that they're going to take home, have that lasting impression for your business? Did you give them a welcome response to them giving you their information as well? Sometimes it's not just about what you're giving away, but did you make it easy for them to enter? Did you make it seem like you're not going to, badger them or drive them crazy or whatever if they give you your phone number kind of thing? It's true. We have to think from that side. To make things easier, if you have, if you don't want to have a whole ton of things on your booth because you don't want to make it, again, overwhelming or detract from getting to talk to you, you can create gift guide sheets and things that are, why would somebody want this? If you are in skincare, create something that is, for teenagers, for early 20s, for 30s, for 40s, for 50s, whatever. If you are, event driven, again, Cindy, I keep calling you because you're talking my list here. But it said if you got, this is if you know someone who's having a baby. This is if you know somebody who is getting married. This is if you know someone who's buying a new house, that kind of thing. You can kind of create this. And when we do these in the spring, don't be afraid to think, that people are already doing their holiday shopping. Some of us start super early. You can even have something that is holiday driven, or, who do you know who has a birthday this summer? Who do you know who's getting married this summer? Who do you know who's having a baby? Who do you know who's buying a house? All of those, who do you know who, remember our 5 magic words, can fit no matter what time of the year. Having a drawing, excuse me. Having a drawing is the best way to get people's information so that you can follow up. If you are doing it with several different consultants, even if you're on the same team or not, one of the things that you may consider doing is having lead slips that are all different colors. So that way you kind of know whose belongs to who. Have a great prize. Have something, that everybody wants. Don't just pull something that's retired or from, your stock or whatever. The first impression and making that look really, cute and inviting. I wish that I had taken a picture of that Avon skincare with all the doggy stuff because it was absolutely adorable. She was so creative and so great. But it made people want it. I have a 6-pound dog, and this was for like 100-pound dog, and I wanted it. I don't even need it, but she made it look so cute. And that's kind of that's the response that you want, is for people to really want it. And then when we talk about the follow-up, everybody's going to win something. Now, whether they win that, whether they win a coupon, whether they win double hostess credits, whether they win, whatever, you can kind of be creative and make that fit with what it is that your goals are for the event, which is one of the most important things going into an event, is to kind of set some goals. If you're just kind of going in willy-nilly, then you don't really have anything that you are focusing on. If you're focused, if you say, I want to book 10 parties from this event, then maybe when you're calling everybody, what you're offering is free shipping for your hostess, or double hostess credits, or something along those lines. Use what you can. If your goal is to get 10 new customers, then what everybody may win is free delivery, which may mean that you have it delivered to your house and then you meet up for coffee to deliver it to her or bring it to her office or whatever. That's one of the things about it being a local event. Again, you can really kind of do more with building those relationships. Make sure that during the event that you are being social. Keep that phone. You don't want to do this the whole time, right? But you can keep your phone and, do pictures on Instagram stories. Go Facebook Live if you want to, and just invite everybody, especially on your page or in your group. Maybe before the event gets going, walk people through and be like, hey guys, we're down here at, so-and-so, come and see us. This is what we've got. Show off your booth. It's going to be great for your customers. You may have somebody who's looking for something to do. It's going to be great to show your team that you're out there, you're active, you're, doing it. And also it's going to help promote the event. Don't just leave it up to the person that is in charge of the event to do the promoting. While that is absolutely their job, you want to do your part in getting people through the door as well. So, get social. If the event has a hashtag, share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram, share it on Twitter. You never know where somebody may find the event, may find you, may find your video, what have you. And even what I love about, again, Facebook Live is even later, and you can say on your Facebook Live, if you can't make it down here today, no worries, be sure to visit my site, like my page, whatever. Okay. You can choose to have a theme. One of the things that you want to make sure of at any vendor event is that you are remembered. Okay, when you think about the last event that you went to, some will stand out. Some booths will stand out. Things that are funny, things that are entertaining, things that are educational, things that are engaging, that kind of stuff. We would do these big Hawaiian, we had Hawaiian shirts that we wore with khakis, and had the big flower lays, and we're drinking out of coconuts, and I had this big stand-up palm tree that was lit up, and I would use it year-round because we're in Florida, so that would be my Christmas tree, or it would be my spring thing, whatever. We had Jimmy Buffett music playing when we were allowed to have music, that kind of stuff, and we stood out. And people would remember us. And at the time, we were giving away those vacations from 20destinations.com. So literally everything that we had was all themed around the same kind of tropical vacation type of thing. You can use any of those elements. And again, we stood out like a sore thumb, but it was in a very, very good way. And when people booked a party, they got those huge floral lays. So what was really fun was that, people would be walking around the expo when they booked a party because they got that free vacation. And so if you have, maybe it's when they book a party, if you guys have a giveaway, there was a company that was giving away like one hostess a quarter got a cruise, or, something along those lines. So, but it was something that, they would walk around and people would be like, where did you get that cute? I mean, we did the big flower ones. They were a little bit obnoxious, but when you booked a party, you got that big floral lay. And so people would be going around the expo itself, like promoting us, they were saying, oh, I got it over there at that booth because I, booked a party or whatever. So you can have a theme and really kind of have it go throughout the entire event. And when you do that follow-up, you can say, hey, you remember me? I was, in that gaudy floral outfit that, whatever, and kind of poke fun and make fun, and we were singing Jimmy Buffett songs, all kinds of stuff. We had a blast with them. But you can see how that would, again, stand out. All right, make it easy to book parties. One of the things that I did was the prize wheel. I have that video on the site. Super fun. You can order a Twister game for like $10 off Amazon, or I think I saw one at Target the other day. It just made a super easy spinner. They do have ones that you can purchase that are a little more expensive, that look, I don't have it, but more like this. You be creative in what you have. I saw someone that her child, she had the old See and Say. Do you remember those? The little pull down thing, and it would spin around. And instead of the farm animals or whatever, she had put her product on there. And it was kind of cute because it still made the farm animal sound. So you kind of got to laugh, but instead of, it being a horse or whatever, it would be a free product. So that, again, is one of those things that's going to kind of stand out, but makes it easy and fun and engaging for people to book parties, because who doesn't want to spin the wheel, right? It's fun. So that tutorial. This was another one that I saw that was super cute. These were, if you booked a party, you picked a prize. And this was just, she took and just put some like glue around here. And this was a little thing you just picked out, and it had the prizes on there and stuff. I thought this was really, really well done. These are sheet protectors that were glued to the back, so you could literally just change them out as the specials changed and as the host of specials change and stuff. And again, it's one of those tri-fold boards, really, really pretty. You make it one time, very easy to carry around and stuff. I thought this was really great. Okay, this is another one that was made with one of their actual products. So I thought that was a great way to show off as well. All right, so wrapping up, and if you guys have any questions in the chat box or anything you want to kind of talk through, and we can also take this over to the community, things not to do, make sure that you don't just stand behind your booth. You don't want to attack people when they walk up, but do be friendly and say hi and ask them if they've ever heard of your company before, ever experienced your company before. If it's a bridal expo, ask if they're the bride or, mother of the bride, or maybe not, not best man, bridesmaid, or, maid of honor or whatever. Like, just ask those questions and talk to people and be friendly and inviting and welcoming. Don't just tell somebody, here's my card, give me a call. No, you can say, have you entered to win? I'm going to be, giving away this great prize. Would love to follow up with you, that kind of stuff. Don't leave early. So this is a biggie, and this is one that I see happening a lot. I always did this huge expo, and it was a bridal expo, and so like the final hour was a runway, a fashion show. Okay, so the thing was, though, like, everybody would go to the fashion show, okay, because it was all the new dresses and tuxes and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of times I would see the vendors break down. Well, what they didn't realize is after the show, there was like a whole another round of people. It was like those last minuters that would come through, and I did some of my best work there. Not to mention, the person in charge of the event would get so frustrated. If you're supposed to be there from 12 to 5, be there from 12 to 5. If you can't commit until 5 o'clock, have somebody who can stay there with your booth. It is so unprofessional to pack up early, unless they're just like a monsoon storm has come, and even then, still stay. You can pack your things so they don't get all messed up, but still stay. You want to have that relationship with that expo coordinator, because he or she will invite you back or not invite you back time and time again. And then, of course, make sure you do not fight over leads. Those are conversations that you need to have before the event. I will tell you, we just had one great big drawing, and then at the end of the day, I would get a solo cup for every person, and we would literally just divide the leads. I didn't look at it. I didn't whatever. It was total luck of the draw. That's how we did it, but that is what I explained and how I explained we would be doing it going into it. So there was no confusion after the fact. And it was always, the people that had the most success were the people who did that follow-up. Some final tips, again, you want to stand out. If you wear matching outfits, if you do like the whole, Hawaiian theme or whatever, it will make you stand out. It will give you that lasting, memorable kind of impression. It's fun when you have everybody matching so that if you're walking around the expo, people will see you, recognize you. You know, we waved at a bunch of people because it was a little bit gaudy. The shirts were really bright and just not something that was fashionable at the time at all, but it made us stand out and made people remember. So we would be, you know, walking around and say, hey, you know, whatever, and wave. Plus, it's just fun, makes great pictures, shows that you are that sisterhood, that family, that you take care of each other and work together and have a good time. So, you know, I highly suggest that with your team. Stay for the entire event, and again, having those goodies. The last thing, I went over my time as I normally do, thanks for hanging in there with me, is just to remember to follow up. Karen Phelps said the fortune is in the follow-up. She could not be more correct. You don't have to make it super difficult, but you do want to have something that you can say to absolutely everybody. So, hey, Ann, this is Lindsay. We met at the Pensacola Bridal Fair on Sunday. I'm one of the so-and-so consultants that was there. We had so much fun. We decided to offer everyone a free something. Now, here's what I did. So I would say offer somebody a free something for hosting a party between now and the end of, and then pick a month. So, you know, if the event was today, I could say, you know, between now and the end of April. All right, so you give them like a 6-week or so time frame. Yes, I wanted to call you first since you marked that you were interested in having a party. Would a weekend or weekday, you know, work for you? So this is what I mean by how everybody wins something. You don't have to give away the farm here. It can be something small. Everybody gets a free, you know, little something for having a party. Some people will, some people won't. Say, you know, sure, we can do it online, we can do it in person, you can do a catalog party. Like, be ready to have that conversation and be prepared with everything that you need and be really accommodating. But just picking up the phone and saying just this is very, very simple. If they say, oh, no, thank you. Okay, fantastic. Well, would you like me to add you to my mailing list? Or I have a VIP group on Facebook. Would you like me to send you an invitation? That kind of thing. Just have to ask. You know, the people say the phone weighs 600 pounds. These people have willingly given you their information. Okay, so they are expecting some follow-up. Truth of the matter is probably 90% of people don't follow up. So, you know, don't be worried about bothering them or whatever, because it's not like they're getting 100 phone calls from every one of these events, right? Only the people that are really good at doing the follow-up, and you want to be that person. But if you are welcoming and inviting and just caring and whatever, then I promise you the phone gets lighter every single time. All right. Any questions? We have all of that. Oh, I don't know where that went. We have all of those scripts. We have additional ones on the site, of course. We have tons of stuff in the gardening gallery. We have lead slips that you can use to gather information based on what kind of event it is. So all kinds of additional things that will help with those vendor events. And if you're going to be doing one, drop the event in the community too. We've had several divas even recently that have figured out that they have really local people to them in that community. We've got like 15,000 people in there. And so there may be somebody in your local area that is looking for an event or that may want to do it along with you. So, all right. Have a great week, everybody. Again, I will be uploading everything this week for April as we kind of get that schedule and figure out exactly what we're going to do. If you have any questions, anything you want to learn more about, we're going to kind of watch this Facebook thing unfold. That was some big news this morning that is going on, so that may be changing things up with how we all use Facebook in the coming weeks. And then, of course, again, starting next week is our Mother's Day gift guide. So lots of exciting stuff going on. Thanks for joining in, and I will see you in the community. Bye.